Head for tonight's TT Amulet match. And I believe we are just about ready to go. Still waiting on the ready up from both runners. Sorry about the slight delay from the 9 p.m. start. We had some technical issues before stream could go live, but they're all sorted out now. There might have been a console bump, a cartridge tilt made someone's game crash, but now we are ready to go. All right. Looks like we're all readied up. Countdown will be commencing pretty soon here. Doing solo commentary for this match tonight. The countdown has started. Any second now. And there they go. They're off to the races, both on world record pace right away. Oh my god. All right. So yeah, these is... I'm interested to see the result of this matchup. Olympus is... he's been in the community for a very long time. He's been to many of the meetups from way back in the day. So long ago that I don't even remember how far back Olympus goes in the community. It's been quite a while. Olympus has been on and off. He's done his fair share of time trialing as well as RTA runs. MorKs has been doing a lot of RTA mainly. Hasn't done too much time trials. RTA is his main category here. And he's been working quite hard improving his TT Amulet times. So I feel like this could go to either one of them. Perhaps MorKs has the advantage just from being a bit more active. Olympus is, he's been playing for quite a long time himself. So right away, doing the overworld movement, we got 4 balloons to collect here. Olympus is opting for a very fast start here. Barrel rolling through the tunnel. It's really tight in the tunnel to get those barrel rolls off, but if you can do them, you can go quite fast through that section. They both grab that hidden balloon behind the trees pretty well. Ledge balloon here. MorKs gets it very clean. And the Dino balloon. And MorKs is going to be going right into Dino with maybe about a 5-second lead here. And typically we go into Jungle Falls as the first track in Dino Domain, but this route, it's actually a little bit faster to go into Fossil Canyon first. So that's where we're going. Looks like about a 7-second lead. The overworld movement is actually super important. It is, you can kind of think of it as a track in itself. It is something that a lot of the top runners practice every once in a while. Something that, can lose a lot of time if something goes wrong. Really good tunnel jump from MorKs here. And the canyonless movement here. Chaining the zipper into the balloon, into the zipper. Into the balloon, I'm sorry. Olympus just barely misses both of them. And MorKs is coming up here on the end of this Fossil Canyon. Another canyonless from here. Gets the balloon. Sometimes if you're going really fast, you can go right through the balloon hitbox, and he gets the cutscene skip too. And these cutscene skips, if you don't know, they save 6 seconds apiece. But for the first 3 cutscene skips here in Dino Domain, if you miss one, it only loses 2 seconds because you can then skip the TT Amulet presentation that you would get from the Fire Mountain minigame. Olympus misses that, so he'll lose 2 seconds here, but he'll be falling far behind for the moment because he has to watch this whole cutscene. Key grab for MorKs, good key grab. That's actually a lot harder than it looks. So now Olympus will be able to skip the Fire Mountain cutscene later on. So he'll catch right back up. Some clean driving here from MorKs. He's definitely, from his previous match, he looks a little bit more refined. Not sure how much practice he's put in for tonight's match, but he's looking really clean tonight. Another cutscene skip from him. And if you don't know, MorKs, he has a world record in this game. Some might know it. It's one of the most legendary world records of all time. So legendary, in fact, that he had to make some pants for it to commemorate his world record. And that's, of course, the plane percent world record, where you complete all of the tracks with the plane vehicle in one shot. Plane percent, that's right. I've had the honor of seeing the plane percent world record holder pants in person. They're legendary. Ooh, good cutscene skip from Olympus. He had to buffer that one, but he hit it. And this Jungle Falls here is also looking very clean. 11, that's a good lap. Just zooming right through the cave there. Jumping down to the zipper. So this is 36? 37 flat. Very respectable. So these first 3 tracks, we go Fossil Canyon, Ancient Lake, collect the key, Jungle Falls, and then we go into Fire Mountain. And typically, we would go into a minigame for like 100% after we had beaten the boss. You know, that's 4 levels, then the boss, and then we do a minigame, typically, for the route. For this, we're doing it in a very different order so that we can do an additional, like, massive cutscene skip we'll see later on. This, of course, Fire Mountain is the egg hatching minigame. You gotta collect 3 eggs, drop them in your nest, and wait about 10 seconds for each for them to hatch, and then once you've hatched those 3 eggs, you win. We have a strategy to collect the eggs really fast. The only tricky part is we have to defend the nest from the CPUs trying to steal the eggs, so we'll collect these level 2 missiles, which turn into homing rockets, which is the easiest way to defend our nest. 45? We missed the cutscene skip. Here we go. Now Olympus is on his way into Fire Mountain here. So this cutscene skip, because MorKs had to hit all 3 of his cutscene skips here, he can't skip this because you have to watch one of those 2 cutscenes fully. And it's a little bit faster to watch the Amulet presentation cutscene. That's why you lose 2 seconds if you miss one, because it's a little bit less efficient to watch balloon presentation as opposed to Amulet presentation. Olympus fumbled that egg pickup, but he got back right to it. There's a second egg placed down. He's going to go for stealing Diddy's egg here for his 3rd egg. Oh, and he got shot, and it dropped the egg out of the nest, so now it respawns back in the central nest. So he's going to see if he can grab one of the 2 here, and it got stolen. No! CPU's on his way to steal that one. Alright, looks like he's got one. We'll see what the CPUs do here. None of them are coming for his nest right away, so we'll have to keep a watchful eye on these CPUs. Looks like the blue one's on his way to steal it. Misses it, and there's the win for Olympus. That could have been a lot worse. That minigame is really annoying if the CPUs do not cooperate with you, and they just keep stealing your eggs over and over and over. Didn't even mention, MorKs is out of bounds right now. You can go out of bounds on this level if you didn't know. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the cutscene skip, but we're going to use the 4th option, if he hits it here, which is the exit game option. So you still get the balloon on that frame, but you have all the different options, and we're choosing to get out of that save file. Then we'll immediately go back into the save file, and when that happens, you go back to the overworld. And because that was the 4th race, what would have happened if we returned to the lobby was watch the entire boss presentation cutscene, like the door opening and the grand music and the doors opening and all that. That takes a lot of time, and we don't need anything else in the world. We just need the balloons for the next levels to get into, and the key, and winning the minigame in that world. So we don't need to race the boss. We don't need to do silver coins. That takes too long. Ooh, something went wrong for Olympus there. He had to reset. Not quite sure what happened there. The out of bounds can be really tricky. MorKs completing car challenge now. He collects that balloon for winning car challenge, and he's going to switch to plane and go right into Snowflake Mountain for the next segment of the run here. The out of bounds movement in plane can be really tricky, especially when the level deloads like this, and you become invisible, and the track ahead of you becomes invisible. You're not quite sure how far you can push your lines and where the inbound section starts and ends. You definitely don't want to go back inbounds, then you would have to just drive it all inbounds. Looks like he missed that key checkpoint. He has to turn around to grab it. MorKs is on his way in the Frosty Village here. These turns in Frosty Village are quite tough. Yeah, Olympus is resetting here. Yeah, I think he's missing the key checkpoint. It's a bit unfortunate. MorKs is pulling ahead from here. Going into lap 3. Oh, he's going for the big jump here. There's a newer chain setup that we have where you can use a blue balloon into the zipper up top and jump all the way down into the village. And get this massive jump with all this speed. Going for the cutscene skip, and he got it. First frame. Nice. Olympus is on the 3rd lap here. Hot top. Hopefully you can get out of hot top soon. MorKs is really pulling away here. Going back in bounds for the safe finish. See if he gets the cutscene skip here. And he misses it, unfortunate. So now we'll see the time difference, the time it costs when you miss this one. Going for the key grab. Gets the key grab. Key grab can be really tough here on Snowball Valley. There's a lot of time that can be saved. So the time loss, he had to watch the boss door opening cutscene, and then he had to do movement out of the world itself to get back to the overworld, and that's why we do exit game instead of returning to lobby. Ooh, that CPU's getting in his way, and he gets the cutscene skip anyway. Nice. Olympus is finishing up the car challenge here, and MorKs is already on his way to Icicle Pyramid. This is one of the tougher minigames. The CPUs can sometimes at random, it feels like, just not go where you want them to go. We have a really fast strategy to clear this minigame, which involves having the CPUs stack up on one spot. And first we'll shoot this one CPU 3 times with a homing rocket each time. Then another CPU will come up, we'll shoot them until they are gone, and then another CPU clears the first. Oh, they actually didn't exchange shots there. That's alright. That worked out well. That could have been much, much worse. That minigame, sometimes the 3rd CPU will just not come up, and they will go all the way to the lower level, and you have to hit them all 4 times to win the minigame, and that can cost 20, 30, 40 seconds at times. It's a real pain when it happens. Olympus is on his way into Snowflake Mountain here, into Frosty Village. MorKs is all done with the minigame here, so he's going to go right into Walrus Cove. Gets stuck on the door. These doors open really slow sometimes, especially that one. You have to... I like to tap the B button a little bit, maybe let off the A button, just to slow myself down. Olympus goes for the big jump in Frosty Village and lands it. Very nice. I didn't know you could do that. It's a really tough jump. Sometimes you can, like, 0 frame through the balloon and over the zipper. Hits an oil slick. Dang. But MorKs here in Walrus Cove. This is a really tricky track. There's a lot of tight turns. There's a lot of high-speed driving. A big jump here that can be taken with that blue balloon. Some players choose to play it a bit safer and use the blue balloon into the final zipper for really big ending speed. I believe it's a little bit faster to blue balloon into the hills before the zipper, but it's a lot harder to control. A lot of players really struggle with it. See what Olympus does on Walrus Cove, but he is finishing up Frosty Village. Gets the cutscene skip, so he's going to maintain his pace here against MorKs. Looks like he might have missed out on that blue balloon there. He's on the last lap here, and Olympus is starting Snowball Valley. We'll see how well he handles the key grab here. Going into the valley section. Looks like MorKs missed out on another blue balloon. finishing up here, going for the cutscene skip, and gets it. I don't think MorKs, might be commentator's curse me saying this, but he hasn't missed a single cutscene skip yet. Let's see. I took my eyes off of Olympus there. I'm not sure if he grabbed the key yet or not. We'll see if he goes for it here. He's not going for it, so hopefully he grabbed the key. Then MorKs onto the final level of this world. This is Everfrost Peak. This is a super high-speed plane level. This is where the more confident you are with this vehicle, the faster you will go, and it's not even funny how much faster you can go when you're confident with plane. Like, the top players can get well under sub 1 minute. And I mean very well under, like 55, 54 even. And then there's Obio, just ahead of all of us, getting like, it's not even a good Everfrost Peak until he gets like a 53. Olympus is starting Icicle Pyramid here. We'll see what the CPUs do here. Hopefully they cooperate. A bit of the RNG with how they behave, it depends on the pace you are, how fast you get up to the top. Here comes the cutscene skip. And he gets it with a buffer. Nice. And that one we do exit game as well. It looks like the CPUs are behaving for Olympus here. That's great. He only has to do 3 shots on this last one. They exchange shots, CPU 2 and 3. That's great. MorKs starting hover challenge here. Hasn't missed a single cutscene skip yet. I forget how many there are. I think there's like 12 or 13 in TT Amulet. There's a good amount of them. And 3 of them have so much weight to them. The exit game cutscene skips. Each one loses, you know, anywhere from like 10 to 15 or 18 seconds. It's a really costly mistake in this category. It's going for the bridge cut here. It saves a very small amount of time. Instead of going to the left underneath, you can go around to the right. The only risky part is that if you go too far right for that like little cut there, you can get disqualified and have to start the whole race over again. That loses a bunch of time, especially if it happens like at the start of lap 3. Most players will kind of stay to the left as much as they can without going too wide of a line. If you really want to risk it, you can go really far right for a very straight line. But it always scares me. Olympus here in Walrus Cove. Getting the blue balloon, hitting the zippers. And that's the end of hover challenge, a 1:12 hover challenge. Can't do much better than that in a run, especially in a race. You can risk it a little bit in hover challenge, but there really isn't much time to be saved in hover challenge. Now going into the third world here, Sherbet Island. We've only got 14 balloons, so we can't go to Treasure Caves right away. Instead, we're going to go to Pirate Lagoon. Another hover level. Is the only unfortunate part is that you go from hover challenge, which is like over 1:10 of just hover A-tap, no boosts. You go right into another hover level. This one has a few boosts, so you aren't going to be hover A-tapping for too often. And this one, if you can chain the boosts together on Pirate Lagoon, you can go ridiculously fast. First frame cutscene skip for Olympus, nice. Each time you can do a first frame cutscene skip, as opposed to being early and having to buffer one, you can save anywhere from like half a second to 1 second each time that you don't have to buffer. Oh, what was that? There's some weird wall that MorKs hit as he missed that balloon. Yeah, sometimes the invisible collision isn't like directly placed on the walls in this game. Like it's just kind of like lazily put next to the walls, especially this turn here that we go around. The wall juts out really, really far from the texture, so we always like bonk on it a bunch. And these ending turns, the lag, it makes it really hard to keep your speed in these sharp turns. And he gets the cutscene skip with a buffer, that's nice. I feel like I usually miss that one, like 50-50. Let's see how Olympus handles this boost section here. Goes to the left, maybe hit that ground zipper and barely misses it. And he missed the other ground zipper as well, no. Good chain there. MorKs is on his way into Crescent Island. This is where the key is for the minigame in this world. It's off in the water. We usually grab it lap 2 or lap 3. We want some bananas because we have to go out in the water to grab it. And we want to have high enough banana count so we can, better our recovery time out of that water. It's really hard to, you know, get the banana count. It's really hard to, 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 get the banana count. get your speed back when you have 0 bananas or anything less than 10. So he's going for a lap 3 key grab. Oh, and Olympus hits the exit game. Nice. That's a really important one to hit. He's going to not fall too far behind here, but he does need to catch up. But anything can happen on this next minigame here. Dark Water Beach that's coming up for MorKs. It's probably the most inconsistent, the highest variability minigame that we have. Going for the key grab. And there it is. At a really high level, sometimes the bob cycle, like the tides, how it goes up and down, can be really important. The difference between like a half second saved if you can be on the upper end of the tide so you can grab the key fast so you can get out of the alcove faster, and having a low tide so that your car can land on the ground sooner. Another cutscene skip. He hasn't missed a single one yet. Olympus here in hover challenge. He's going for the wider line there. It's a little bit safer. If you do go really far right in that snow section, you can actually get disqualified. But it's usually have to go like very, very far right. Almost never happens, but every once in a while it'll happen. It's going underneath the bridge as well. Very safe hover challenge. That's understandable. Probably doesn't want to fall too far behind here. A little bit more aggressive cut there from Olympus. Now Whale Bay. If you didn't know, these blue whales here in Whale Bay, they have names officially. Not officially, but the headcanon. Community official lore here. The one that we jump off of on the ship is called Karen. And the one next to the start line is called Gus. So that will be on the test, by the way. Please remember that. There's Gus, I guess. See if he goes for a little jump here off the whale. Depending on the pacing of the CPUs, the CPUs will actually hit the trigger to raise up the whale on the ship. Oh, and he hits that one as well. That's one of the hardest cutscene skips to buffer as well, is Whale Bay. Depending on the way you approach the finish line, it might have a 15 FPS buffer timing instead. Here's the start of Dark Water. We'll do single rocket shots on the CPU that we spawn close to. These are all quite precise. Clears the first CPU perfectly. There's this long shot, which is super hard to hit. Looks like he missed it, but that's the hardest one. That one's kind of optional to hit. Homing rocket, a single. He's going for an alternative clear for this CPU here. Oh, and he got it completely blind. I don't believe it. I don't know how he did that. That's magic. And the homing rocket goes right through the arch. That one might get hit by the arch, though. We'll see. Oh, it cleared it. Wow. That's actually a really good Dark Water, considering that wasn't, like, picture perfect to the fast strategy. But almost never we can get the perfect strategy to work because of just how much goes on hitting these shots. But that's just fine. I would be happy with that in any run, really. Olympus misses the cutscene skip there. That one I always struggle with. The finish line is, like, really early, really back in the texture that's on the ground that we use to line it up. It's really deceivingly early. Most people, when they go for it, they usually just miss the pause completely. And Treasure Caves here, this is a really short and fast car track. Usually top runners are able to get under 40 seconds for this one if you can hit all the boosts. And it's really, really bumpy too. It's sometimes going to be really hard to get the car to land exactly where you want to, but that's the chain through the cave. It's insanely fast to hit all the boosts. Oh, Timber, what are you doing? And sometimes the CPUs will actually get in your way for whatever reason. From one attempt to another, they might just like intentionally drive into you where you're driving and just like ruin your speed. And he hits the exit game cutscene skip. That's 3 for 3 exit games. This is a different MorKs than his last match. His last match, he had some really unfortunate time losses from resetting the race a frame before he was supposed to and missing 1 or 2 of the exit games, which cost a bunch of time. Going into plane challenge here. This is probably maybe even a bit harder than hover challenge. The lines that you have to hit here can actually be really tough. This turn especially is the hardest turn. It goes from 30 FPS, then down to 20, and then down to 15 very, very quickly. It's very hard to turn the plane once the frame rate gets that low. So whatever angle you're going into with that turn, you are locked in, and you're committing with that angle. So you have to turn at a really awkward time to adjust for when that frame rate hits, and he barely cleared that wall, but he lost his speed. He's going for a safe line to not get disqualified. If you go too far off the intended path for too long, the game will disqualify you. It has a few checks to determine disqualification, and if we want to go safe, we can just stay right on the path so that we can avoid it completely. But he's coming up on the unplane challenge here. 1 minute. That's not bad. Especially that little hiccup. Losing your top speed and missing out on your barrel roll chains can be really, really tough. There's the balloon. There it goes. It's trying to run away from him. Those can be really hard to grab if you don't get them right away, because they'll run away from you. So now, he's going for Windmill Plains. So here in Dragon Forest, you have a choice between collecting your 20th balloon either in Windmill Plains or in Greenwood Village. Both of those doors are open. Very similar times. Windmill Plains, if you're a top runner, you can get close to the sub 1 minute range, maybe around 102 or 103, ideally. We have to do an out of bounds, though, and it's not an easy out of bounds. It can fail at times. Yeah, MorKs is actually on an incredible pace here. Let's see if he hits this out of bounds. Oh, and it rejected him. That's so sad. Honestly, MorKs might have been on PB pace there up until that point. All the races were very good. He hit every single cutscene skip. There wasn't any major mistakes. Maybe he can still PB. I'm not sure. I actually forget what his PB is here. He's still on an incredible run. It might not matter too much. He's going for inbounds finish of lap 1, collecting bananas, and go for another attempt at the out of bounds lap 2. And Olympus here is doing the camping strategy. Oh, and he barely got out with 11. Wow, the game did not want him to get out this time. But he made him... Mork said no. Even if the game was disagreeing with out of bounds today, he said, I'm getting out anyways. Oh my goodness. Oh. This is the hardest out of bounds to navigate as well. The level does not load in very well. You disappear, the track disappears. The void out like spots are super easy to hit. It's going for the cutscene skip here, semi-blind, and he gets it. That's so far away from the finish line. I always have to go way into the finish line so I can line it up. So that was the last cutscene skip. He's hit all the cutscene skips in this run. That's incredible. We don't have to cutscene skip in this level, not really, because we're not going to finish this race. You only need to collect the key, and you can immediately pause out, return to the lobby, and you get progression on that frame you collect the key. He's going for the early key grab here, and he gets it. 16 key grab, that's really fast. Yeah, I don't know if there's been that. That was like the only major mistake that I saw from MorKs. This is going to be a 28. Some kind of mid 28 here, maybe 28.4, possibly, maybe 28.3. This is still very, very good. Olympus here is on his last track. Been so enamored with MorKs here. Olympus is on his last track of Sherbet Island, so he'll be going into Dragon Forest pretty soon here once he cleans up Plane Challenge. And Smoky Castle here, the final minigame, the very last thing in this category. There's a CPU that has a homing missile here, and he misses them. If you're really fast, you can avoid that CPU that would shoot you to steal your bananas. So this has kind of a pace lock. You have to be fast enough to avoid that CPU. And you can't really go too fast on here either to make sure the bananas that you're collecting back and forth, these two sets of bananas, actually respawn in time. Olympus hits the exit game, so he's going to keep up. But Olympus is going to be finishing in just a few moments here. I don't know what his PB is, but this has got to be close to his PB, because this is a great run. And the swag finish, 28-23 from MorKs GG. What an incredible run. Without that mistake, that little mishap, that would have been a 27, I think. It would have been really close to a 27. That's an incredible run. One of the best runs we've seen in the tournament so far. And that's with, Windmill Plains absolutely not working. Olympus on plane challenge here. The barrel rolls on plane challenge are really tough to hit. He hit every single cutscene skip. That is really, really hard to do. Yeah, I believe MorKs would have PB'd if Windmill Plains would have decided to let him out today. But DKR can be like that sometimes. He had a good amount of bananas as well. I thought his position, the lineup, would have worked, but the game just said no. That's how this game is sometimes. You can be on the run of your life, and something like that can happen. Coming up on the unplane challenge here with a 106. That's not bad. It's really hard to get the lines and get them fast in plane challenge, and there's so many places that you can bonk to lose all of your speed and lose 5-6 seconds on any single bonk. Gets through the tunnel. So which track is Olympus going to go to? I would guess maybe Greenwood Village? It looks like Greenwood Village, yeah. Windmill Plains is a little bit of a risky move. It's a few seconds faster at the top level, and the cutscene skip is a little bit harder to hit because we go back in bounds to line it up, so it does cost a few seconds trying to go for the cutscene skip. I recently switched to the strategy of doing Greenwood Village because I'm a car player. I excel quite well in car, and I am not too good in plane, so I've been switching to Greenwood Village for my 20th balloon. And I might be costing myself a few seconds doing that, but Windmill Plains is a slightly risky move, but if you're willing to go for it, it can pay off sometimes. If you just need those extra few seconds, and if you know how to get those few seconds. And Greenwood Village is not an easy course either. It's only, 4 or 5 seconds behind Windmill Plains, ideally. It's hard to drive. There's a lot of bumps. Some people like it, some don't. Music is good, at least. That's always nice. That balloon is always really hard to grab as well. If you're going really fast, these bumps in the forest are really hard to control the car with. And you got this zigzag coming up here, which a lot of people trip up on if you can't drift, get your drift set in at the right time. The ending, the cutscene skip, that one can be really hard to buffer. I see a lot of people missing this cutscene skip as well. It's one of the harder ones in the game. But that's the 20th balloon, so he's going to head into Boulder Canyon here to collect his key. Yeah, GG's again to MorKs. It was such a great run up until Windmill Plains, and it's still a great run either way. Boulder Canyon here can be really tricky to navigate these waves. The big logs you have to jump over, they kill your speed going over them. Turn around, hit the bell, and get up there for that key. The key can be hard to grab too. The hitbox for it actually sits a little bit higher than it appears. That's not a bad key grab either. So Olympus is looking like, if he gets a clean Smoky Castle here, a mid 33, looks like. Very respectable. He got mixed up quite a bit on Hot Top Volcano earlier in the run. I think he had to reset the race a few times. He was struggling with the out of bounds, but he eventually got out of there. So we'll see if he can outpace the CPU here. It's basically the thing to look for when going for a fast Smoky Castle. Oh, and he's going to go for the safe route. He didn't quite have the pace, so he is just going to wait for that CPU to get out of his way to collect those bananas. It's a little bit slower, but it guarantees that you won't get shot, have to regain your speed. It also means that you can zoom through for these bananas. They'll be respawned in time by quite a lot. And that CPU only comes by once, so you can go and grab those bananas the correct, regular way. Again. That CPU, it can be a run killer for some people. If you just need to... If you're a few seconds ahead of PB and that CPU shoots you, it's over. It can be devastating sometimes. Looks like a mid 33 here from MorKs. Or not MorKs, Olympus. No, I butchered it at the very end. Oh, that's a 33-40 from Olympus. GG to both runners. Congrats to MorKs with that monster time, 28-23. Good race. Congrats to both runners. But MorKs will be your winner tonight. I believe we're going to do some post-run interviews. We're going to wait for the runners to get in here if they're up for it. And there it is, the gold foil wrapped chocolate candy. MorKs.
Hello.
Hello. Congrats on your run. What a monster of a run.
Thank you. I'm very happy. I think the thing I'm most impressed is that I haven't missed a single cutscene skip.
Yeah, I was trying not to commentate or curse your run. I did mention that you hadn't missed a cutscene skip at a certain point, and I was certain I was gonna cause you to miss one, but you nailed every single one.
There were a couple of scary ones, like the whale bay one.
Yep, that one's always a very tough one to buffer for everyone.
Yeah, I'm like,
Frame
oh
rate
no.
changes, it's so hard to get.
Yeah, it was fun though. Bummer for the windmill planes. Could have been
Yes.
27 PB, but it's good regardless. I feel like I've performed pretty good, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. And
Well,
yeah, Olympus, welcome.
Hello.
hello.
Good job on your run.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Dino Domain was very interesting for me. So.
Yeah, I saw you got tripped up a few times in Hot Top Volcano.
Yeah, the first bit was just trying to get out of bounds the first time. Just for whatever reason, I wasn't getting. I think the left input when I was trying to do the barrel
Yeah.
roll, so it just looped instead. I was like, okay, just restart it just to get everything going. And then second time through, for whatever reason, I don't know which checkpoint I was missing at the north end of the track, but I kept missing it. I don't know why. And then I got to the point where the CPU started to take the lead from me, so I was like, oh gosh,
Oh,
okay.
no.
So restarted that, and so after that, it was actually fairly decent for me. For everybody here, I'm not a top runner by any means. I kind of consider myself like a casual runner that kind of knows what you're supposed to do. But I think if you took that away, I actually was going to get fairly close to my PB. I think if I didn't have those trip ups and also the trip up in Fire Mountain, where I missed the initial egg that I was trying to steal for the second
Yes.
egg. Yeah, and so then when I went to go to get my third egg, I got shot, which I've never seen that before. So I tried to go get the egg from the middle, and that was stolen from me. And so yeah, just fun adventures there in Dino Domain for me. After that, I'd say it was a bit more typical of my run after that.
Yeah, Dino was definitely the thing that tripped you up the most in your run here, but everything else was nice. Icicle Pyramid worked out, Darkwater Beach went for the camping strategy just to play it safe, and you hit some of the exit game cutscene skips as well to keep your pace up. I don't think
Yep,
there was too much in the mid
three of
game or the
those.
late game that went very wrong, so it was just Dino that kind of hurt the run mostly, but
Yeah,
overall.
I recently got a PB for myself in playing challenge. I had to take it a little safer here, so I didn't get quite as good as I wanted to, but got a lot closer to times that I feel are more reasonable for me. Had to play it a little safe though.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah. MorKs, I believe, was actually on PB pace going into Windmill Plains, hitting all the cutscene skips. And Windmill Plains, despite having 7 bananas, I believe, and having a good setup spot, the boost was good, had high speed, the game just didn't even let him out. Not even for like a single frame did he get out.
Oh no,
It
that was my fault actually. I know what happened. So I was focusing because I was starting to stress out because I was seeing the pace a little bit. But I tried to focus. Unfortunately, what happened is that once I went under the mill, I was mistimed, and like the fan of the windmill
Yep.
was about to hit my head, so I had to readjust last minute.
Oh.
And because of that, I slowed down and I was too much to the left. I tried to counteract it, but it wasn't good enough, I guess. I was out too, like the vehicle was out, and then it regurgitated me back out.
Yeah.
Like we were in happy.
It's always
Gilmore or
the worst
something.
when that happens. It kind of feels like a troll hit sometimes.
Yeah,
When it just teases you.
I almost went for the C strat though.
Yeah. There's
could have done that.
the new strat that we've been using in time trials, but only recently have we been implementing into some balloon race levels to preserve speed by increasing the lag at precise moments. And I tried messing around with C strats in Windmill Plains. I didn't get the best consistency with it, but when it worked, it worked.
It
And
works most of the time. It feels
yeah,
like personally when I did it, I was like, I think I didn't even miss it once, even if I was not able to get like much bananas out of it.
yeah.
Right? That's how I feel at least.
Yeah, we use it in Smoky. It's basically Smoky Out of Bounds is now free because the slope that we're boosting off of is like a 45-degree angle, so we can preserve our speed like completely. But here in Windmill Plains, the angle that we're like boosting off of is like maybe around 70 or 80 degrees. It's quite harsher on our speed conservation.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. No barrel roll. Oh my god.
There you go.
Maybe I should give it a shot. You might have
It's
just
it's so
convinced me to look at that a second time. That looks
dude.
so easy.
It's so easy.
5
I think
bananas as well.
Oh,
I didn't even see you
wow.
have 5 bananas.
I,
Wow.
I think the only reason why people don't go for it, or at least like Obayo or Trident, is because they're so used to the old strat that's a little bit faster if you control it properly, because you
Yeah.
keep your momentum a little bit better.
I mean, you look like you kept your momentum just fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
look
it's
into
because
that.
I maybe because I clipped a little bit more up, but
Yeah.
also I think the second reason and the stronger one would be because they worked hard for it, so they want other people to work hard for it as well.
No,
Kind
this
of
is 2024.
boomer mentality.
This is 2024. We use new strats.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll be looking into that for Smoky or as soon as I can. So
Yeah,
want to get sub
definitely.
200%. So
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you gotta, if you're not using the A button, you can have press C right, and then you just keep all your speed for a small moment. If you do it at the right time, you can get out of bounds much, much faster. Much consistent. It's like a 99% consistency, maybe 99.5 or 6%
I
consistency
think
on
it's worth
Smoky. It
going
just
for
works.
anyone that's not in the top 10 at least, I guess,
Yeah,
because it
it's a
just
lot easier to line up because then you have to you don't have to be offset to your position, then barrel roll at the right time. You can just drive into the spot for Windmill Plains and
exactly.
Smoky. You just go right where you want to and press the button and you go out.
But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Wow.
It's easy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I probably could have gone for that, but I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's what makes runs and races interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I believe if there's anything else either of you want to say, I believe we'll be wrapping up soon.
yeah. For people on the stream, come join my stream. I'm gonna break some Star Fox 64 world records. It's gonna be fun.
Very nice.
yeah, congrats, Morks, and yeah, I'll just say this is my first community event that I've done for quite a while. So I am, I'm very excited to be back. I know I'm not the, most competitive out there, but I really enjoy this community, and I'm really happy to be back.
Yeah,
Really
we're
fun.
so thankful to have you back. You've been in the community
Yeah,
for a very long time. It's always a treat to have you with us.
absolutely.
And
I really enjoyed that you're in the tournament. To be honest, Olympus. I thought I was not going to see you for a while, but then you showed up, and I'm quite happy about it.
Thank
That's
you. I
pretty
really
cool.
appreciate that.
yeah, we are excited for both of your future matches. Morks, you definitely looked like a changed man from your previous match. Is a
Yes.
great showing from you, so I'm excited to see what you do next in the tournament. And
Thank you.
before we go, quick shout out to the DKR64 Races Discord. This is where you can keep up to date with all of the races that we're scheduling here in the month. Right now we're still in the group stage, so everyone's going to be playing each other in their groups to get their seeding for the bracket, which will take place after the group stage, where I believe it'll be single elimination maybe after in the bracket. I believe that's how the format will work, but we'll find out either way. So join the Discord, stay up to date, and see any future tournaments that we hold as well. But that's going to be it, and I believe we are going to raid member of the DKR community. We're going to go raid Obayo here. He's doing some DK64 randomizer, and we're going to go cheer him on for his randomizer attempt. So Thank you for watching the match tonight between MorKs and Olympus, and future matches here in the coming week. Tomorrow, we'll see Olympus again versus Dollar Ben. Same time, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. That'll be a good match. We have me, Mr. Ponytail, versus Kives, one of the Norwegian gods, on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Kives versus Bandow, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Kives versus Cryonics, Jason Xavier. On Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Those are what we have scheduled for now. We might have even more races coming up as they get scheduled, so please join the Discord if you want to see all of these live. And that is going to be all from us tonight. Wish you the best, and we will see you next match.
Have a good one, guys.
Goodbye.
Yes, thank you.